It's midnight in this remote part of the world. The sun is still blazing and I just got thrown into that lake by 14 strangers who I met last week. Welcome to the Founder Summer Camp.
If you're new here, I'm Evan, and 18 months ago I walked away from a stable job and a high-rise apartment in Australia to build a life that felt a little bit more like mine. And since then, I've been building a global 7-figure business from airport floors, campervans, European castles, mountain cabins, you name it. And now, here, I'm leading 14 entrepreneurs through a 2-week Art of Mondays residency in a place where the sun literally doesn't set. Every week, I sit down and I share the highs, the lows, the learnings, and everything in between of building a global 7-figure brand with my best friends. And this week, things got kind of weird, but in the best way possible. After months of deep work sprints and almost burning out several times, I'm starting to finally find my rhythm again. It's less frantic, I'm feeling more present, and honestly, it feels pretty darn good. And here by the lake, we're 14 founders living together under one roof, building, training, laughing, and getting wildly competitive at pool and ping pong and air hockey. It's kind of like business school meets startup mastermind meets adult summer camp, and I'm here for all of it. So here's a sneak peek into what it's been like. Now that you've seen the quick highlights, here's a bit of a life update. So the first thing that has really struck me this week is that the midnight sunsets here in Alaska are seriously special. It really gives me a new perspective on the world and how other people live. As for the more specific things, well, I ran the Art of Mondays challenge with the group here. Hundreds of push-ups, hundreds of burpees, hundreds of squats, and fair to say they weren't too happy with me, so they did this.
Couldn't do it.
That was for the 300 burpees.
And fair enough, I would too. I also rode a jet ski for the first time. That was great. I felt fully present and super alive in that moment. And we could see Mount Denali in the distance, which is the tallest mountain in North America. So that was a really special moment. Next week, I'll be going to Montreal, Canada, to meet up with the Art of Mondays team, my Founder Sports Club app developer, and a bunch of my old friends. And now time for the weekly traffic lights. So this is a highlight, a learning, and a challenge. And I reflect on these every week, and I encourage you to do the same. So feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Firstly, my highlight, we hiked up the Byron Glacier and we had a snowball fight in literally the middle of summer. Arguably the best day of the year as well. That was pretty wild. And my learning for the week is take the risk. And this is inspired by a Jeff Bezos idea. If he has a 10% chance of success, but that success will give 100 times return, then it's a good bet every single time. Because even if you fail 9 times out of 10, you're still overwhelmingly coming out ahead. And I'm starting to see how true that is in the Art of Mondays world as we build this brand. As for my challenge, this one has been probably hosting the residency while keeping the rest of the business humming. I'm trying to unlearn the idea that quote unquote real work is only what happens behind a laptop. And sometimes the reality is that leading this experience and facilitating is the work. So I think it's just a mindset shift for me, honestly. Now for what you've all been waiting for, I'm sure, the Art of Mondays updates. So this week we are sitting at 2,836 applications. That's up 52 over the last week. We have 186 active members and the average age is 28. And they're all lifestyle founders. So people like this guy who value travel, health, freedom, wellness, mindfulness, and trying to design a life that works for them. As for what else has been happening, well, Jai and I have been deep in sprint mode. We've been building the next evolution of Art of Mondays and what that looks like and how our team's going to evolve over time. We've also had all 4 of the Wealth Walks founders together in person for the first time ever. So that's been an amazing chance to connect and put some serious heat on the business. We also sold out our Bali Mega residency. So these are going to be 2 villas right next to each other in the jungle. 25 founders all up, if my math is correct. And it's going to be wild. I can't wait. That's happening in October. And the last sneaky update, first reveal happening here, is that we're scouting for our next Residency X, Residency Experience. Think campervan convoy meets road trip in one of the most stunning natural landscape destinations in the world. See if you can guess where it is, drop in the comments and I'll reveal it shortly once it's locked in. And the last update, as I alluded to before, is we're expanding the team. We're hiring for a bunch of roles across content, ops, and finance. So if you think that the Art of Mondays world is for you, make sure to subscribe, because next week I'll share a link in the description with our application page when that is live. That was our founder family update. And now for our founder sports club update, another product. So we're at 4,767 members, and there's often a bit of a discrepancy between our database and Stripe, because people might sign up and be counted in our database, but then actually their card is declined or something like that, which is why that number has been a little bit inconsistent over the past few weeks. So that's a problem we're trying to solve in-house. The other update is not a super exciting one actually, but a realistic one, is that our acquisition spend has flopped this week a little bit, but that's all part of the game. Thankfully, the subscription part of our model means that things are still moving along nicely, but need to put a bit of a focus on acquiring customers and figure out what's going on there. And honestly, we already know the answer. We need to create more ad creative to go with our ads. So that's something we're putting heat on, which is why we're hiring for a bunch of new roles. But a far more exciting update is that our Founder Sports Club app is now 70% done. We're probably around 2 weeks away from testing. It's looking slick, it's going to be fast, and it's going to be a game changer for us, because we're going to be able to introduce so many new features, like reviewing your group, your matches, using an Uber style star review. So everyone will be held accountable to be on their best behavior. We'll be able to use AI to suggest sports locations and venues in your city. And we'll also be introducing citywide meetup capabilities. So expanding beyond just the groups of 4, the tight-knit groups, into also pop-up events around the city, whether that be a run club or a meet and greet or anything else we can think of. Maybe a volleyball tournament on the sand. That'd be cool. Anyway, those are all the updates. So I'll leave you with a couple questions to ponder as usual. The first is, what did you learn at school that you would actually benefit from unlearning? And here's an example. So school values perfect marks, but the real world values speed of execution, even if it's only to an 80% standard. Well, at least in Art of Mondays. And the second question is, which tough conversation are you avoiding? Our success in life can often be correlated to the number of uncomfortable conversations we're willing to have. So if you can think of one, go have that conversation. Okay, well, that's a wrap in this week's Monday Journal, episode 21, I think. From snowball fights to strategy sprints, this week was one for the ages, and the sun's still out, so life is good. But I'm starting to learn that this founder life is stranger, weirder, and more of a roller coaster than I ever could have imagined. But honestly, that's half the fun. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you more than you know. Thanks to Joe for sticking by my side through this video, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace, fam. Joe, you want to say bye?
I'd love to say bye. Hi and bye.
It's also his birthday today, so give him some love in the comments.
And guess how old I am?
Yeah, if you can guess how old he is, you win a prize.
Yeah.
What's the prize?
I'll give you a high five.
Wow. Okay, bye.
Hey.